Good morning, CLA. Welcome to day 11 of our 14 days of prayer and fasting. My name is Erin. I'm the worship pastor here at CLA, and I'm so grateful to have you all along this morning to pray into the worship and creative arts culture here. I'm so honored. I have a couple of things I'd love to share with you guys. Actually, a couple thoughts from a book that one of my favorite worship pastors wrote. His name's Jeremy Riddle. The book's called The Reset, and he says, the next greatest worship movement is not going to be birthed from the greatest songwriters or greatest musicians or even celebrity worship leaders, but the next greatest worship movement will be birthed straight from the heart and lovers of God. And I couldn't agree more. And it was out of this chapter called The Purity of Worship. And this whole chapter was just resonating like crazy for me. And that's partly because when I first stepped into this role last year, the Lord just really put the word purity on my heart, that it was something that he was longing for. And so that statement really rang true for me. And Jeremy goes on to talk about the story of Mary Magdalene in this book. And he makes note of how oftentimes out of the story it's preached about the costly oil that she broke at his feet and that it was worth like a year's worth of wages. And he says, we fail to recognize that it actually cost Mary something much greater because she had a history that was not great, that was not good at all. And people in town knew who she was. But when she encountered the Lord had so greatly healed her, transformed her, and delivered her that she couldn't help but respond in worship to him. So when she sought him out and found him in a room full of men that knew her history, that knew her past, that knew her at her worst, it didn't matter what they thought of her. It didn't matter in what condition they ever saw her in, because the Lord had transformed her and changed her and healed her and loved her, and she couldn't help but fall at his feet and worship him in purity. And I believe that's what the Lord is inviting us into, guys, is into deeper realms of worship and purity in worship. And it's a scary prayer because I know for myself it's going to cost me something, and it's going to cost our family something. But I believe God has been preparing us for this. God has increased the levels of intimacy and trust and safety at CLA. It's been beautiful. And I know he's going to do more, but I know that he's also inviting us into the moments where we can say yes, where it may be scary, into the moments where we can say yes, where we may have to step past familiarity or step past our own comfortable levels of vulnerability or step past the line of fear of man. Oh, I don't want to do that because I'm afraid they'll think this. I believe God is inviting us into deeper realms of worship and impurity. And the beautiful thing is, guys, is that the Lord can't help but respond to the lovers of his heart. I know we've all been desiring to have an encounter, even more encounters with the Father, and to be transformed by his love. It's one of all of our greatest desires. But that type of worship will cost us something. And so I pray that the Lord gives us revelation individually and collectively as a family of what that looks like, and that he begins to prepare us to say yes to those moments, that we would lean in, that we wouldn't run away, but that we would meet him and say yes at his invitation. So that is my prayer. I bless you guys. Have an incredible day. And I hope to see you all there tonight at CLA in the auditorium at 7 p.m. for our worship and prayer night. See you guys soon. Bye.